That's right. That's right. That's right. AM1. Just pulling up for a little test stream. Rainy, you haven't seen that intro? Shout out to my intro. Shout out to Rainy. We go back here on these YouTube streets. Raining woman. I need a new intro. I need a new intro. I need a new intro. I've been saying that for a minute, but there will be a 26 update intro. I'm working on a new studio setup and some different bells and whistles. Shout out to anybody else in the stream. Let me know if you're in here. Just testing some things out. Y'all let me know, is the audio good? Just kind of re-updated the StreamYard. Decided to go with them for a little bit longer. So I know some of my guys are like, get on OBS or get on some of these other formats or whatever. Being bougie about they content situation. She said, "Please don't change it yet." That I rocked that one for like a year already. I'm way overdue for another one. I got a whole lot. I got so many more video clips. Y'all know with this channel, I'm really taking it way more in the health and fitness direction, and I got so much stuff. I'm really excited about where I'm going with this. As the world kind of falls apart and just gets dumber and dumber and dumber, I really just want to bring some more positivity. Branding look. I have it on a drive somewhere. I'll just send you a link to it. You could watch it yourself. Or I'll just make it its own video that it just plays, right? Um Andre 420, salute. The camera looks good. I appreciate you. I got this Sony A7S3 with the legendary 24 millimeter 1.4 G Master lens. It's my favorite all time lens. I like OBS, but it's a bit harder to use, but it's worth it. Yeah, I'm gonna get with it eventually, I think. But right now, I'm still at a place where I don't want the learning curve of all that. I just want to take it easy. So StreamYard is gonna have to do for now. But for my coaching clients, I've just been using Google Meets, which is super clean because that's just one on one, so it's not streaming. But I know with OBS you can do a lot of things. So I got some content that I'm going to shoot with OBS for sure. Who else is in the building? Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. Apparently y'all can hear me, so I want to make sure the audio was looking right, or audio looking right and the video sounding right. See, flip it there. I need to go to sleep. This really was just me just coming on to do a little test stream and a little algorithm finesse, a little algo finesse. See how to. I'm working on my backdrop. I like to really keep it simple with the black backdrop. Keep it simple. Sin Life is in the building. Says looks good. Your opinion doesn't count, but thanks. And just me. I'm just real classic, real simple with the. I want a crisp camera image. So I'm hoping that's coming across. But that black background, keeping it. Oh, you know what? Let me see something else too. Oh, we can get a little bit more moody with the ISO though. What y'all think? If I come down on the ISO, I'm too lazy to do it. But if I get up and actually turn up the I'll keep it about right there. I'm being real picky. I kind of like that though. It's kind of a little moody. A little mood. Let's talk about some things. Let's get real, let's get deep on the challenges we're facing as far as where the world is, finding our position in the world. I was just talking to a homie of mine, and we're talking about the intersectionality of financial fitness, physical fitness, mental health. And, it's a deep discussion, and we got to talk about that. He's coming up on his 45th birthday. I'll be 48 this year, so your boy's getting old as we approach the big 50, half a century. You understand? And we just got to really be thinking and planning ahead for the future while enjoying the now. He said, camera looking like you shooting a movie, no glazing. Hey, I hope so. You guys know I'm a videographer, getting into coaching people on a lifestyle coaching, health and fitness lane. But I would hope that my camera setup can look decent if I'm going to operate on YouTube coming from a videography background. Leonard Day Judah, what's good? I appreciate you pulling up. Like I said, like the stream says, it's just a little test. What y'all want to talk about though? At this point, I only care to talk all cinematic and sheesh. I mean, so we got this at f 2.5. This goes all the way to f 1.4. Oh, let's see what happens. Just since we're playing around, what happens if we go to f 1.4? All right, so this is when I open up the aperture, so we get darker. We open up, we get darker, so that's 4.5. And then if we go to 1.4, we open. I'm sorry, that was closed to 1.5. So we get darker when we close the aperture. I can manually control the aperture here. But 1.4. So this is where the magic happens. Super shallow depth of field. But here's the thing, we can do this. We can play this risky game with this shallow depth of field because of this legendary lens and this autofocus. So if you guys can see how I'm looking at the camera, it has this little squared, a little AI box around my eye, and it'll shift between my face and the eye. But it's such a shallow depth of field. It's 24 millimeters, so it's pretty wide, but it's right up on my face. So it's like the depth of field is so shallow that if it misses the tracking, see the mic is this close to me, but it's still blurry. But since it's just stuck on my eyes, that stays in focus. The depth of field is so shallow. Rating. I love that question. You see, when we get to the shallow depth of field plus the compression, see, that's when you get those really cinematic shots right there, right? Because then we get the bokeh, shallow depth of field. I like that look. I do kind of like that look. But I don't want my face all big head all up in the camera like that. But that is a dope look. And this is the thing, it's a prime lens, so I can't make it zoom. And that's kind of the drawback of this. But it just has to work this way. But shallow depth of field ain't no joke. You know what? I might just keep running this at 1.4 because the autofocus is acting right. It's staying where it needs to stay. Autofocus is kind of acting right. It's kind of acting right. We're gonna get into the questions. Hold on. We're gonna get into the questions. Y'all seem having way too much fun with the autofocus. All right, let me back this up a little bit. Hell. All right, who else is in the chat? I see 8 people in here. I need 8 comments. I need you guys to tell me that my setup looks good. I put a lot of work into this setup, and I need to know that it's looking right, or I'm just giving up on YouTube. Okay. My whole self-esteem is based on this. All right. Have you thought about doing fitness skits? Yes, indeed. Now, part of the issue with that is having a gym where you can kind of flex that, or I'm in Vegas now. I'm spending a lot more time in Vegas. I'm about to do some training sessions, like some park training sessions, circuit group training sessions. So with that, and I got a cousin out here who's, a singer, actress, and I'm gonna get her in the mix on some stuff. So fitness skits for sure. Fitness skits for sure. And Andre says, I'm looking for lower to upper body workouts. So I'm interested in that because people said they're looking for workouts. Andre, so do you feel like when it comes to workouts, because technically the workout thing is simple, right? I mean, I'm not sure where you're at with it, but I can guarantee you, after studying this stuff for years and years and years, hearing so many different people, talking to so many different trainers and coaches, it ultimately boils down to this. If you want to get the most bang for your buck, it's just compound movement. So the idea of like workouts, I understand some people get into this thing where they're like, well, I want to keep it fun. I don't want it to be boring. And I try to help people through that because it's really like you do want it to be fun. Like for me, it's always fun. It's always a game. And this is a big part of my lifestyle. Like I have no life outside of work and working out. And I like it that way. In traveling and, experiencing the world. And my setup is pretty simple. But when it comes to working out, it's like I've had people say stuff to me like, I'm trying to find a new workout. It's like your body can move in certain ways. It is what it is. There's certain planes of movement. There's certain, extension, flexion, the joint range of motion. It pretty much is what it is at a certain point. Now you could say, am I going to do resistance training with weights or machines? Or am I going to do more calisthenics body training? Or am I going to do more like hybrid sprint training? Or am I going to do specifically, bodybuilding hypertrophy training? So that's a matter of the kind of sets and reps you're doing. Or just more strongman training. I don't care about aesthetically how I look. I just care about strength, right? So some of the strongest guys, stronger than some, bodybuilders, are typically like fat around the midsection, and they don't care about how they look because that's not the point. They just want to be strong. So there's a few different approaches to it. But when you say as far as lower upper body workouts, it's the big compound movements. So we're talking bench press, overhead press, dips, pull ups, chin ups, and then squats, lunges, Bulgarian split squats. So you got the one leg lifted, and essentially deadlifts and Romanian deadlifts. Basically, with those, if you just keep doing that, you're gonna get strong. And you want to do those with the right, rep ranges and whatnot. But you really want to focus more on keeping the flexibility along with the strength. Because most people are just have poor mobility. Obviously, Andre, I'm kind of answering this question in a broad kind of way. I don't know your exact situation. 6'1", 180. I don't work out outside of work. Well, you definitely should. I mean, 6'1", 180. You sound like you got a good frame to work with. I never learned from anyone, but was considering hiring a personal trainer just to get proper programming going. Get a proper program going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, if you do that, I mean, that's the thing. Like, all of the information you need as far as routines, again, information age is a double-edged sword. All the information is there, but there's too much information there, and then it becomes a matter of who do you listen to. There's all this different stuff, right? But ultimately, if you're just doing those basic compound movements, squats, lunges, Romanian deadlifts, just the big that just keeps it simple, because then you're working multiple muscles all at the same time. You don't have to really worry about isolation too much. For the average person, just doing that, and you don't even have to do super heavy weight. But if you just do those, like there's a guy, I'm gonna start coaching a guy soon, one-on-one in-person training. And he's like, I'm not sure, my way around the gym like that. And it's like, cool, bet. We're going straight to the compound movements. But we're gonna really focus on getting solid range of motion. And that's kind of a thing where, especially, training with people over 40, I don't want people to be super sore. So just starting people off slow, but with those compound movements, it goes such a long way. It pays so much. And then we can get into fun stuff, obviously, like the more movement calisthenics kind of stuff. I love that. I love that training style as well. That's a whole different ball game. But I mean, just even push-ups. Uh Andre 420 reform new to my content. Oh, I appreciate you being here. Are you subscribed? Hit the subscribe button. I work in construction, by the way. Do you coach fitness? Yeah, I coach on fitness for sure. Lifestyle coaching. So anybody who talks about fitness, who isn't talking about nutrition, diet, and in a broader way. Yeah, now, Andre, I know I've seen you in here before, but I see you're saying you're new. But are you subscribed? Everybody, make sure you subscribe. I'm all braced up when I play pickleball. What do you mean by that? Big Pontiac. Big Pontiac. I ain't seen Big Pontiac in a minute. You're braced up. You mean you got like knee braces on? I want to try pickleball. I've never played it. I heard people talking about it. Okay, so I appreciate that, Andre. If you're working in construction, man, you should definitely be working out. 6'1", 180, bro. You get into just starting with the legs, man. Oh, paid sub? No, I didn't mean paid sub. I gotta really get that going more. I got a whole lot of content in store right now, stuff I'm working on, but I'm really building out a school community. But I will have this channel is monetized, so I definitely want to leverage that. Y'all can hit the Cash App if you like and want to support and all that. But I gotta get in here and pay my dues a little bit more. You understand? So obviously Cash App AM1OK if you really want to support. Knee braces, elbow, shoulder to play pickleball though, because pickleball is kind of low impact, right? Because you're what taking some kind of object and bouncing it on some kind of thing towards the other people. It's like almost like Foursquare back in the day. Let me know how pickleball works, or I'll pull up a pickleball video in a minute. Maybe I do need to test some stuff out. Cause yeah, I mean, pickleball with braces? Do you have prior knee injuries, or you just old and your knees feel like people tell the joke when they're in their 40s? I'm old now and I pull a muscle just tying my shoelaces or something. And that's a real thing. And it's wild. The more I get into 64, I play 5 days a week for 2 hours. Okay, 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 okay. You explained it. Knee braces, elbow, shoulder. But still, I'd love to hear that you're able to play pickleball, but you don't feel any soreness. What happens if you play it and you don't have the braces? Surgery on both knees. Okay, okay, okay. But one of my guys I was just talking to had some knee surgery, and I want to talk to him about his rehab. Matter of fact, I got to check in with him, see if he's back in town. But because that's something that I talk about a lot with my guys, the whole inflammation thing. Like, what are you eating? Is it creating a certain kind of inflammation that's obviously inflaming your tissues, inflaming your joints to where then you would feel like you need some kind of extra brace, especially for something low impact. But, you put it there, Big Pontiac, you are 64. So there's that. But age, there's a correlation between age and how inflamed you are, but it's not a set in stone kind of thing, meaning it can be undone. So I'm curious, Big Pontiac, you had the surgery on both knees, you're 64, you play 5 days a week for 2 hours. That's amazing. But what is the diet looking like? Sprained knee, tennis elbow. See, here's the thing. I used to think that my knees were bad. Then I realized my knees are bad because I realized that I have, for sitting down, jobs where I was sitting down too much, I have underactive glutes. And as I got into personal training, studying for the certification, I came to the understanding that most people have underactive glutes because most people aren't doing enough squatting kind of movements, not enough hip hinge squatting kind of movements. Most people have underactive glutes. And if you sit for hours, then it creates a situation where your core is weaker, glutes are weaker. So that's something I had to come to terms with. So I thought my knees were bad, but it was really that I just had poor glute activation. So I say that to say, in between that, just how my diet was. So when you put those things together and you address them, you'll realize, oh, my knees aren't as quote unquote bad as I thought. And that can also apply to other joints as well. A little bit different for, elbows. Shoulders is a big thing for me. I have issues with that because I have broader shoulders. So having the sleep angles right with my pillows, like if I toss and turn, because I'm still after all these years battling through some sleep issues. But Big Pontiac, what is your food game looking like? That's what I'd like to know. Are you eating a lot of like processed food, sugary stuff, sugary processed stuff? That's what we all need to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Andre said, I'm Canadian, but my cousin was an ex-Marine and bodybuilder, and he's vegan somehow. Yeah, I mean, the whole veganism thing, I've tried all kind of different vegan, vegetarian, different variations. I would not advise it. And depending on people's genetics and what they do and how strict they are, if they're eating clean, it can work, but I don't advise it, especially for a man. But I mean, if he's a Marine or was a Marine and he's training, he's a bodybuilder, then you got to beg the question, and maybe Andre, or maybe you've asked, or even if you did ask, and then would he tell you? Is he on some type of TRT or any other kind of PEDs, any other kind of like enhancements? So there's that. I can't advise the vegan vegetarian thing. If anything, I'd be more advocating on the ketovore carnivore side. animal based for sure. Because I shifted in that direction myself and got a lot of benefits after years of nutritional deficiencies, and I'm still recovering from that. Xanatos Clutch, my guy in the building, he said I got diagnosed with weaker glutes on my left side as well, but I was shown how to strengthen them and it's working. Yeah, that's a big deal. The glute thing is a big deal. It's like one of the biggest muscle complexes in your body. The gluteus maximus medius, you got the different, angles, and then how that ties into the whole hips with the psoas muscles, and then it ties into the back muscles into the hamstrings, like the whole posterior chain. That is a big, big deal. Training people, coaching that, that's one of the biggest tools right there. So who was that? Andre, 6'1", 180. Just doing stuff like I just got one of those ab roller things too, because I kind of slacked off on working on my abs, but um, I mean, Romanian deadlifts with a barbell. I like it better with a barbell, but dumbbells works too. Um, Single leg or kickstand RDLs, Bulgarian split squats. It sucks. It sucks if you have underactive glutes. It sucks, but it is so good when you power through it. When I say it sucks, it means it sucks to build that into a program, or really work that, to have to recover that. It's all to the bad. Andre, do this. Andre, are you on Instagram? Are you on Instagram? I'd like to work with you. That'd be dope. If I could get you to come work with me for a month, that would be dope. I build you a profile in the app that I use. And if you do my VIP coaching, I'll build you in to know, but you have access. Well, yeah, do this. Get at me on Instagram, because I don't want to put my direct email in this chat, but if you DM me on Instagram on this account, we could talk about that. But that'd be dope. I'll give you a discount on my VIP coaching where you have direct access to me, and I build you your own custom profile in the app. And then we get into tracking your meals, your weight, all that. And that's basically how I do it. I coach people and say, get with me for a month, max 3 months, because this stuff is technically easy. And if you can rock it out for 3 months, it can pretty much be life changing. I'd love to know, because we gotta know from a lifestyle perspective, what is that diet looking like? What does that look like day to day, week to week, month to month? What do we need to assess as far as cost benefit analysis, risk reward? What are you eating? Stop eating that. That's stupid. Don't eat that. That's poison. We got to do some mindset shifts. Like, yeah, you want to eat that, and you're gonna have to put that down because you're killing yourself. It's poison. There's so much talk about food, and America allows these things that are banned in other countries, and blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, yeah, nobody's coming to save you. Well, my doctor says this, and blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, okay. Big Pontiac says, I take fish oil and lion's mane first thing. Then I eat a protein bar with cereal with blueberries. Then salad for lunch, and usually salmon and green beans for dinner. That doesn't sound too bad. Interesting with the fish oil. I've taken fish oil before. I'd be curious about like the brand and source for the fish oil, and then what kind of protein bar. Oh, with cereal, and then yeah, what kind of cereal? Based on that, oh yeah, because cereal with blueberries. Like, if just off top, anybody I'm coaching, I'm like, in the morning, start with protein. And then from the time when you would first get up, Big Pontiac, have a meal like that and a salad for lunch. At what point is that pickleball coming into play? I'd be curious to know that. There's some strategies. Like my strategy right now is on a down day where I'm not really training too hard. Even with that, I'm trying to walk and get some kind of mobility in. At least I'm trying to walk. Like even today, I woke up super early and went and got in 4 miles on incline and then did kind of a light chest day. And this was meant to be kind of a more rest day because I've been working on getting better sleep. And I'm working a strategy where, for the most part, I eat animal based, way more high fat, high protein, kind of like keto, carnivore diet ish. And now I don't really care about the teams and the sides and all that and the brand names, but I just eat f- what works for me. Since I came back from my trip, I've been ramping up my training again, and I'm honest about the fact that I get more bang for my buck as far as like a calorie burn workout when I use carbs essentially as a PED because I'm not on TRT, lifetime natural. Have never had any kind of performance enhancing, no TRT, no therapies, no peptides, no none of that. So I got to do it the hard, real way, fully natty. Some people feel a certain way about that. And, I've had that discussion and willing to have that discussion. But I use carbs more as a PED. So what I'm saying by that is anything that's not, for the most part, fat and protein, like animal source fat and protein, everything pretty much is carbs. If it comes from plants, it's carbs, without a doubt. Some plants have fats that you would use, like avocado or whatever. But when I say carbs, really, I just mean fruit. Using fruit. My favorite is watermelon and dates. Having some of that before I'm going to work out and working out with that and some electrolytes, it just puts my workouts on another level. And then from there, I'm kind of going back down to more meat and fat at the end of the day. So I'm specifically targeting to have those fruits around when I'm around my training sessions. I mean, this is not even some rocket science thing. This is a known concept, like a carb loading concept, but it's not really loading more than it's just targeting those carbs in meals right near those workouts, right near those training sessions. Big Pontiac says about an hour before breakfast, I play. Oh, so you're playing fasted, but I'm part of a health co-op that I get my minerals from. Okay, so now you're throwing the extra curveball of the minerals. Interesting. Yeah, I'm curious to know what would happen because cereal, because you said it's cereal, and I'm sketchy on cereal. Because are we talking about like brand name cereal, Lucky Charms, Cheerios, Cookie Crisp, Apple Jacks? What are we talking? Protein bar? What brand is that? I'm just super curious to know. Social media insurance, bro, was good. We got Alonzo Hall in the building. The famous, the infamous Alonzo Hall. Get your life insurance leveled up. Get this work 1982 in the building. Salute, salute, salute. Just like I said, just doing a little test of the setup and building a new studio setup, but figured I'd come in and just chat with the folks and start getting to some health and fitness questions and people just dropping comments as I like. That's what this channel moving forward. It has to be adding value. I've always talked about that skills, resources, adding value. Some of you guys know, some of you guys don't know. I'm a videographer, so hence, somewhat of a decent setup. It could be better. And I'm going to evolve this a little bit, but I want to stick with my classic. Since I've been active on YouTube, at a certain point I hit this black background kind of setup. So that's kind of like my brand, but I want to keep that. But just want to add some different bells and whistles. But I'm gonna add a little bit more to this background, and then I think I like it. Y'all like it? I like it. And then just want a crisp camera setup, and we're pretty much good. I think we're pretty good. Let me see. There was something back here. Who was else in the building? I didn't shout him out. Let me see. Black English. If you're still in the building, Black English, shout out. Uh, did a wild stream with him a few months back. He says, I'm fat now. I'm like, based on the wild stories you told me, I'm glad to see that you're still alive now. He said, referring to the cereal discussion with Big Pontiac, nah, corn Chex cereal. Oh, what you know about RX bar? That's the only protein bar I rock with. Okay, okay, okay. RX bar peanut bar. Now I gotta ask you this, Big Pontiac. I gotta ask you this. Is a serious question. I gotta look at the camera for this one. This is serious. RX bar. I rock with those. It's the only protein bar I need to be sponsored by them. Have you tried blueberry and strawberry? Have you tried blueberry and strawberry? Let me know. I know there's a lag and a delay. RX bar. Have you tried blueberry? Have you tried strawberry? Let me know. Andre said, I don't know you well, but I've heard you say you're about fitness, so I'll follow to find out. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm a videographer, but as I built out that career, and that came from doing events in the Bay Area. So I'm from Oakland, California. Events, event promotion, streetwear, graphic design, visual media, drawing, illustration, uh, decades of that. And from that, I extracted a career doing videography, motion graphic design, and general creative consulting based on my background with events and all this other stuff, putting it all together. So helping people really build out whole projects. Let me show you. I'll show you. Well, actually, you know what? Wait, let me see what media assets I have in here. I'll just play this intro just as an example. This is just some lifestyle kind of stuff, but this was the intro that I made. And we're back. All right. So, yeah, I was just showing that for the purposes of just kind of giving for the people who haven't seen it or any people that are new here. As Andre says, I don't know you well, but I heard you're into fitness. Yes, videography, fitness, all of that. So, built a career doing that. And behind that, right in the background, was the fitness thing. And as I got older, and we had the whole COVID thing, they were shutting the gyms down. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on. What's going on in the world? What's going on with me? What's going on with my body? What's going on with people getting sick? Let me learn more about my body. So I took my whole mindset from doing videography, which is more like a media based concept, because I build whole projects for clients. So there's like a quick rapid fire learning curve. I have to go in, work with somebody on their business, learn about what their business is, and be able to like build out their whole project to communicate and essentially build ads and content for companies, and I have to speak like I'm them and be their voice. So I have to learn about what's going on with these different companies. And there's a certain journalism mentality to that, right? Because it's like you're interviewing them and then you're telling their story. With that same mentality and understanding like media and how it works, um, having like an objective stance on something, then being able to communicate it, I took that same mentality and went in deeper and deeper into the whole fitness realm. So with the diet, nutrition, this style of fitness versus that style of fitness. Anybody who pit one against the other or different diets. Should you be vegan? Should you be this? Meat is bad. Red meat is bad. Like, let me look into that. Let me really understand what's being communicated to us, who's saying it, and what should we really believe. Who's really on our side? Who's coming to help us? Who's working for us? What the doctor says versus this expert versus that expert. And it made me realize we are on our own for sure. And I saw it as an opportunity to say, well, I'm doing this kind of creative communication work for other people. Let me do it directly for my own clients. And I started to evolve this stuff to say, all right, well, let me look at how to communicate some different things that I'm finding. And then, of course, you got to go up against the whole thing of, well, who are you? And, you know, you're smarter than a doctor, blah, blah, blah. So then I said, oh, well, let me educate myself more. Let me get some certifications. Let me learn more about this stuff. And be able to communicate it and convey it. And at the same time, not only am I a client, but I'm how's it go? Not only am I the president, but I'm a client. So build my whole, media brand around specifically health and fitness myself as an extension of my, video creative consulting work. But I used to be overweight myself and have tried different diet approaches and strategies and lost a lot of weight. So I've had success with that. And the thing is, as you get older and as time changes, your body adapts and you have to adapt with that. And you got to look at what you've been eating, what you've been consuming over all these years, decades. So there's some complexity to it. So a part of my job is to look at all of that and look at it from a holistic standpoint. People use that word, but it really is a holistic standpoint. Another seemingly cliche word that I used to push back against is lifestyle, but it really is a lifestyle thing. Like it's not going to be, well, I just am going to go to the gym and I'm going to all of a sudden lose this dad bod or lose this beer belly. Nah, we got to talk about the food. And if we're going to talk about the food, then we got to talk about your family. We got to talk about who you're around every day. We got to talk about, are you on something like this scrolling all day, every day into the night? We got to talk about your sleep, all of that. It really is a lifestyle thing. It really is a lifestyle thing. And anybody who's coaching on this stuff, now I've talked with a lot of coaches. Some say, MOT was good. Case Hager was good. I appreciate you pulling up. Hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button, by the way. I'm not checking the likes and all that. Hit the Cash App or I'm pausing the stream. Some of y'all don't know that reference, but that's a thing. Like hold the stream hostage. uh, it is lifestyle for sure. We're gonna talk more about it, but that's what we're here for. So I was just showing that video just to show, like, again, I am a videographer, so I'm out on these gigs. I'm out in these different countries. I'm doing different things, networking, just looking at how I can find sources of inspiration, sources of knowledge that I can come back and condense and bring back to people and try to communicate it in a way that makes it easy, because I understand most people don't have time today. I built a business for myself in such a way where I've been able to buy back a lot of my time. I understand the average person doesn't have time. I don't have any children. I don't have, relationship drama. I don't have any of that. My life is pretty dialed in when it comes to this stuff. I make good money with the video stuff, and getting into coaching people, I really love that. I actually love that more than the video stuff. So I'm more interested in that because, making videos for people, building their businesses and whatnot, helping, YouTubers, I've worked with different people, built, people's intros and motion graphics and logo stuff for their YouTube channels. And I got a whole other reel. It's not in StreamYard, but I'll make a new version of that anyway, because I got to make like a whole new graphic package, because I got a whole lot of content. Everybody stick around, make sure you hit the like button and all that good stuff. But I'll just, again, showing that intro just to show kind of like, a little lifestyle montage of kind of how it gets down. MLT says you'll never be able to outwork a bad diet. Absolutely. It has to be the diet nutrition before you even get into the fitness part. People, I mean, yeah, it's funny, but not funny. Because again, people are like, I want you to coach me. Let's get some training. It's like, let's talk about that diet though. Because you're not going to play the game with yourself, especially, and it's certainly not me to be like, I can eat a bunch of bullshit, a bunch of, poison chemicals, but think I'm gonna go hit the gym and just work that out, and that's gonna solve it. It's like, good start, but no, no. Oh, come on, in the chat. Let's be nice. Let's be nice. See, MLT, he didn't even say nothing crazy to you. I'm new to working out, but that's good advice. Yeah, no. What MLT said is definitely true. And then MOT goes off as usual. MOT, good old MOT. Always grumpy. And I get it because I'd be grumpy too. Me and MOT go way back. So he understands. We got that grumpy old man vibe on point. uh But no, that is a fact though. This is a fact right here. Look how you got the laser beam eyes. Oh wait, what did he say? Yeah, I hate when people say, wait. Well, I hate when people say go to the gym as if it's that simple. I mean, that is for sure the thing to do. And it ultimately is simple if you can afford a gym membership. And at this point now, gyms are giving away memberships. I mean, $9 an hour. Like, if worst case scenario, all things go to Planet Fitness, $9 an hour. Las Vegas and Southern California. I'm not sure how far out they go from there, but I know Las Vegas and Southern California has EOS Gym, a gym I just signed up with. So I have 24-hour fitness and this EOS gym, but they even have like a 9.99. So the gym thing is pretty simple. So there's no excuse for that. Go to the gym and work out, sure, but it's like what that diet do, what that food looking like. It got to be that part first. It got to be that part first because of this. So just definitely do gym, but then this is where it's really at. Because for sure, if you get this part right, if somebody's overweight, you can lose a lot of weight just getting this part right. Not to mention, it's not even just about losing weight. That's a big issue because there's a lot of overweight, obesity, blah, 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 for sure. But it's the fact that there's so much fake chemicals, poisonous chemicals in a lot of the fake food. Eat fake food, build a fake body. That's a fake brain. That's fake hormones. If you build your life like that, you should expect fake interactions and fake outcomes. I've been saying that for years. My longtime people know. And when you put that equation down, something easy to say, but when you really pick that apart, it's like, well, yeah, of course, eat fake food. How are you even interfacing with the world properly? I could just bang the drum on that point over and over and over and over and over. Black English. All right, wait a minute. Wait a minute. All right, yeah. All right, y'all. I ain't even going to address some of the comments. Y'all chill. Black English said, you think I should reach out to St. Center for funding because I created an app? Sure. But what's more funny, and let me know when you do, reach out to St. Center and tell him that story that you told me about the cartel thing. Tell him that. And make sure I get to hear it because that will make for some top-notch effery. MOT says they know most people don't use gym memberships, free money. Yeah. I've seen the whole scam with Planet Fitness and some of these other gyms. In fact, that's their business model. They want a bunch of people to sign up and then not come. So they're getting all this money coming in on subscription autopilot every month. But then there's low overhead because the people aren't even in there, less wear and tear on and less use of their equipment. The business model is excellent. Wait, new comments. Where's the new comments? Okay. Looking for government contracts from my app. I'm almost afraid to ask, but tell us what the app is, Black English. I know you're dying to tell us. Kaseger says most people say it like you can just walk in and lift weights without changing the diet, which is reason why people are overweight. Yeah. In that context, to say it's as simple as going to the gym, then you're right. Because it's not that simple for sure. Because you can eat like crap and go to the gym and lift, and you could even theoretically get stronger. But what's the point if you're overweight and beyond just again being overweight? Most people are overweight because they're eating ultra processed food. And with that, it's not even just extra surplus calories. It's a whole situation where people are eating all kind of extra ass fake chemicals. In a lot of instances, you're eating stuff where your body structure, your cellular structure is being altered, if not built with these fake chemicals. Like it's all the way bad on so many levels. Like it's all the way bad. Funny, not funny. But yeah. It has to be the diet thing. It has to be the diet, nutrition, the food timing, how you eat, depending on your age. You got to do the like I do with my clients. We got to walk down memory lane. What have you been eating over the last year, the last 5 years, the last 10 years? If I'm in my 40s, what did my last 20 years look like? Let's go even into childhood. What kind of stuff are you eating in childhood? I mean, it gets even deeper than that. Like anything you've consumed in your life overall, especially childhood, right? Because that's the developmental years your body's building itself. You got to think about what kind of stuff did you eat as a child? That's a big deal. There's so many different issues, claimed mental health issues or um what are they called? Autoimmune diseases and, cancer or whatever. So many things that people are claiming is hereditary. It's like, wait a minute, we got to go back and see what people were eating in their childhood. Like literally when your body is building itself up. I mean, you know, birth to 10 years old, arguably birth to 20 years old. I mean, just to average and really think about it like that, you're literally building yourself to a point where you grow into adulthood, and then you're kind of at this static point with your body as far as overall you're as tall as you're going to get. We need to know what you were eating and what kind of material food substrate you were eating. We need to know about what types of injections you've had, what types of shots, what kind of things were put into your body that could have impacts later. Like I'll leave it at that because that gets into a touchy discussion. But if people aren't really approaching it like that, again, see, I like to work with people and be like, come get down with me for a month, come get down with me for 3 months. But if you really want the intensive level training, I can really put you up on a lot of game. Again, I treat this like it's media understanding. When you get into that, you got to really understand what's being communicated to you, who benefits, and understanding propaganda, social engineering, advertising, and again, who's benefiting, who's profiting from this stuff. So you got to ask a lot of questions about who told you to eat what, who told you to do this thing. We got to get into the food discussion, the medical industry. We got to get into all this stuff. Who's influencing your thoughts about how you treat your body, what you put in your body as far as nutrition or so-called medicines. You got to be looking at that like that. If you really care, unless you really are okay with, I'm just going to advocate my own personal health to someone else who may have profit motives to do things that are not in my best interest. It's like that. Black English again says, Helen, you liked our post. She does interviews with NVIDIA. But you didn't even say what the app is. So you're talking about the app, and then you talk about what's the app? I'll bite. I know you want to talk about the app. What is the app? I mean, that's dope. I hope the app is dope. I mean, what's the app, sir? All right, let me see something real quick. Media assets. All right, that's cool. That's cool. Got some old pics in here, like overlays for when I do the old stuff in here, backgrounds and all that. Let me see what are the options here. Oh, can't even see it, but remove that. Oh, interesting. Bubbles. Okay, okay. The app is called Crocs or Crocs. That automatically look like Crocs to me. Okay, what does the app do, sir? If it's this hard to get information about the app, if you talk to somebody who got some funding for you, you're not going to get funding. What is the app about? Unless you're trying to keep it under wraps. But then, if that's the case, why did you bring it up? What is the app about? Tell us the name of the app. Does not help us. Tell us. Tell us. It's an AI governance app. Okay. Well, can you give us more details? Can you give us more details? How did you build the app? I'm more interested in how you built the app. I'll tell you all about it. You got to tell me about it later. He's saying nothing, right? I'm like, bruh. One line responses is like we're pulling teeth with this whole thing. She's the face of the company. Who's she? Helen Yu. I don't even know who Helen Yu is. So there's that. What the hell? This thing auto corrected to Helen Hunt. Helen Yu is the founder and CEO of Tigon Advisory, a consultancy helping tech companies achieve multi-billion-dollar growth, specializing as sales as a service and AI. A former Oracle and Adobe executive, she is a recognized top 10 influencer in digital transformation, cybersecurity, and cloud computing. Okay, she even looks like an AI image, as far as what I have here. Oh, she's just throwing out names. You're not really saying anything productive here, Black English. So, I mean, shout out to the app, but I mean, so if you're trying to keep it under wraps and close to the chest, but then why bring it up? So it's like, you see, and I'm not the only one who's catching that. He said she liked his post. A post where? Where did you post about it? Black English. Where did you post about it? On your YouTube channel? Do you have information about it on your YouTube channel? I mean, I find it interesting, but then if I ask more about it and you're like, I want to talk about it, then it's like, fam, why did you bring it up? Plus, I got to wrap this up because, damn, I didn't even plan on being on here an hour. I'm trying to not make these long like this. But I'll be back with a lot more content coming up soon. I'm working on some really cool things. I got some guests that's going to be coming up. I'll be doing some panels, but it definitely will be on the health and fitness side of things for sure. Black English ain't saying nothing else. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. Intro is going to play on the outro. Intro and outro. I appreciate y'all rocking with me.